It's your boy Taz coming live for this movie review. This is Taz on the Reel. I'm gonna bring you all the reviews for the Netflix movies that doesn't get the annual review. So look, this week though, we're doing a video of Nappily Ever After. Nappily Ever After is the newest is a new movie on Netflix starring Sanaa Lathan about a woman who goes from being put in a box all her life by mostly her mother and society with permed hair. And it walks us through the stages of just going from perm to the short haired woman that we see at the end of the movie. So it starts off like this. The song starts off. I like the entrance. The entrance had a song starting off talking about hair, and I was like, that's a good way to start this off. I thought this was it really set the tone for the movie for me, so I know what's going to be truly talked about, and it set the tone also because it made you think of a black woman in the first 5 minutes. Like, what else could it be talking about? So, and I knew the movie was gonna be crazy. Like, I knew her journey as a kid was gonna be messed up when I seen the actor that played the mom. I already knew, like, oh, okay. So, oh, yeah, that's your mom? Oh yeah, you finna go. You you're going through the toughest, strictest, like all A's, no B's I've never heard C through F in my life, like type of mother. Like, your mom is not one to play with. But you kind of seen the rebellious spirit when she was just like, when she was at the pool and you had her like talking to the other kids at the pool and it was like, man, forget it. I'm jumping in. I don't care what happened. I'm jumping in. And jumping and her hair come out crazy and it's like, whoa, okay. And see, I've never seen that. Like, I've never seen a black woman's hair get wet after a perm. So, like, in actual reality. So I was like, oh, I always heard the stories, but you know, you never know until you see it. And if it's anything like that, then wow, I understand. I really do understand. You see when she gets older, how it's no longer being rebellious about like the perm and what she does. It's like micromanage. She goes in, like, you see her get a perm and uh have have sex differently. You see her get the perm and um stay away from hot areas. You see her get the perm and ask her assistant what's the weather. She's out with her girls. She's checking the clouds every second. Like, and I mean micromanage. Just everything around her has to deal with her hair. Like, it has to be maintained. It has to stay presentable. It has to be the perfect hairstyle. Um, from It has to be the perfect hairstyle for her appearance, for her lifestyle. So, um, And then it gets messed up. Little kids are playing, and they take the sprinklers, the water hose, and just and have a little too much fun, and hits her on her head, and you see her hair just drops and gets wet, and then you see the aftermath of it, like the aftermath of her hair just wow, and it was like whoa, I really comprehend now. Like I don't understand because I don't have hair like that, and I wouldn't get it permed, but I comprehend now. Um, and then you see how then you see how much her head was filled with like propaganda, and you in a sense self hate, because it gets to the point where she goes in the salon to try to fix her hair because her mother doesn't answer and can't do anything about it. So she goes in to a black salon, and she, you know, gets amongst, I guess, black women, and looks at their hair, and it's just and she thinks they're like you see her side eyeing and questioning like the natural beauty of it. Then she goes up against a young girl, Zoe, and Zoe, you know, comes in, checks her about her, like, oh, you messed your hair up, like you trying to be something you not with this. And for a young girl to understand that, you know, her hair and her natural being of her hair doesn't go like that, or doesn't have to be perpetuated to look that certain smooth and silky hair. It was empowering. It was lovely to see like a young girl to tell this older adult, like, you messed your hair up by trying to alter it in the first place, and now it's further messed up because you're upset when it doesn't play again. It plays against your rules. Something happens to it from natural causes, water. Oh wow, it got wet, and now look how crazy it looks. Like, so, and as an adult, you don't take you being checked by a kid. You feel like you know more than the child. You feel like you know uh, they don't have the sense of what really is happening in the situation. When that child, knows what should naturally be, you know, they still have their freedom, their free sense of imagination and free mind. So it's lovely to see that you got checked. And it's even better yet when she gets the material put in her hair, the products and all of that put in her hair, and it's just like it relaxes it out of your head. And I was look, be real with y'all, I was happy the fact that Zoe was the one that made the mistake. I was like, that's what you get. That's what you get. Like, it wasn't right. It wasn't right, but and you see her try to deal with try to deal with this thing that happened to her, and she's dealing with the breakup of her and the guy, and and trying to process who she is, and has this moment because she had to get her hair together first off because you know she thinks she's getting proposed to. She's like, I have the perfect life, I have the perfect job, I have the perfect home, I have the perfect man, and you know what? It's all coming together to be perfect with that fairy tale ending. I'm getting married. So she tries to get dolled up. All of this happens. She gets a wig. She goes to the man. He doesn't. He doesn't propose. He gives her a doll. And then the whole funny part is that he tells her, "Look, you act so perfect. You don't let your hair down. You don't. It feels like a first date for 2 years." And with that, she just couldn't take it. She couldn't take, like, why is he checking me like this? Why am I thought we were just here to do this first date thing for these 2 years, and you know, I thought he learned something like I learned something, blah blah blah. But that's not that's not the case. And she was upset about it. You know, instead of like trying to work it out, instead of trying to actually be like step back and evaluate the situation, like, dang, did I really just, was I over exaggerating? Hmm. Was I like lying about it? Should I have just, like, is he lying? I don't know. Like, she didn't do none of that. She let it go. And, um, you know, it, she lets it go, and you see it, like, her trying to deal with that, and then later on when she finds out that he's with another woman, laughing, giggling, just you know uh kissed up, whatever, she cuts her hair, and like it's like, okay, cut your hair, and then you try to hide it. Then she goes, she gets help from that woman. She's like, okay, I probably was a little mean trying to talk to this woman while I was breaking down and she was breaking down. So let me see what she's talking about. She goes to see what the other woman talks about, and she walks in amongst cancer patients, and she whips out the hair, and she's like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm officially going to be a cancer patient. Like, I'm officially going to be a bald woman. And it was like, it took it took a real, like, illness for you to just accept your hair when they had no choice to do this. But you did this by just being upset about a situation. Like, she was very self-centered, like very self-centered, very um egotistical with just like her. thinking that her power came from her hair. And, you know, it felt good to see her just tear down those pillars. And because you really can't blame her. She lives in a society where she feels that she has to be perfect. She has that in a society where she does have to work twice as hard. She has to work three times as hard because she's a woman, she's black, she's powerful, it's so many stigmas against her where it's just like, okay, let me like let me play the role. But you don't have to play a role. You don't have to be you don't have to be what they write you to be. You could be your own person. And it works as your own person. So she's starting to come to grips because she doesn't fully come to grips. You see that when she you know she starts to come to grips when she tries to you know rectify something of her old self. Now that she noticed like she probably was being a little too much when she yelled at a little girl. So she tries to go back and give, you know, Zoe something that she tried to steal, and you know, she meets Zoe's dad, and you know, they start to kick it off. And I thought this was a very powerful moment because it gave it gave the man a chance to black man owns his own business, deals with hair, has a daughter, uh gardens. Like he's a man who takes care of things on his own in a different way than we would usually see, or usually perpetuate or usually stick into the media. So it was very powerful to see a man who did all of these things and kept the strength of a black man. And when she deals with him, when she deals with Will, it's it's really like I really like the feeling of those two. You know, I like the feeling of how he made her feel comfortable. He made her in tune with herself. He helped pick her back up from those fallings of where she was just coming from and helping her understand where she could go. Will was just a very good move, and it kept a good move by having Zoe in there and having her get along and doing her hair and helping with things around the home. So when she takes the next step with Will and tries to introduce him to her mother, it's like the little argument wasn't right, but it wasn't wrong either. She stepped in, she gave a defense. She gave, she told her mom certain things wasn't right. But the way that she did it was the wrong part. I felt like Will had all rights to just walk out to tell her everything that happened. But an adult, these are the things that you let go in the instance. Like, you know, if someone's not healthy for you in that way, then you just tell them you're not healthy. Like, And once you get healthy, I can assist you more about you and us. But until then, it's nothing I can do about you until you want to do something about you. And drop, that's it. And Will did exactly that. Um and when she goes back and tries to pick herself up from that and still work on who she is, the ex walks back in. Just taking a moment to get himself together to, you know, just to take a moment to get his stuff to, finish removing himself from that lane. And he steps in. So he walks in and he sees he just sees her dashing. And he sees her being free and expressive, something that he never really seen before. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to take this time to apologize. I'm going to take this time to really understand that where I was coming from probably was wrong. And especially the way that I delivered it. And especially the way that I delivered it was not right for handling the situation. So I thought he did a great job about doing that. Now my problem comes in when that could have been the closure, but she proceeds to have sex with him anyway. Why? You didn't need that. You look, how do you just drop Will and not try to fix the things that you needed to fix instead of just jumping back into someone else's arms? Like you you had it together. You had it going on. You had it almost together. And you went back and did what messed up your first relationship with the same man that you're about to get in the shower with in the first place. You see what this is like? Why? Why would you do that? But that's that's what she thought for the moment. Like this is it. This is better than this is better than what I was going through because he apologized and we can work through it. That I will point out is just because you keep the little girl around doesn't mean like you can sweep her back in the hearts of everybody. No, that's not how it works. You don't get off the hook just because the little girl is still there. I don't want no. No. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve the little girl. You don't deserve her father. Zoe and Will were Zoe and Will were like in a sense better off without you, and you didn't deserve them. So um so I thought, you know, that it was very nice to see the dynamic also of Zoe and the mom when they just started going back and forth with each other. I was like, perfect, perfect. it doesn't show the transition. It shows where it came from and where it went. It's just like you see that of our older generations in the black communities against the younger generation of the community, and how, you know, how it can change, and how you don't have to stay stuck in this way. Oh, you're using your outside voice. Yeah, we're outside. What are you saying? Like, be right. Just be comfortable to be who you are. Um, and I thought it was nice that she just jumped in the pool. She didn't care. I was loving the fact that she took that step. That she was like, you know what? I am going to be free. I'm going to be completely free, and I'm going to enjoy who I am and love what it is about me that I love. And she did that. With this movie coming to a close, and she they ending it with, her getting a better job where they don't put her in a box, and her putting in a plug, for Will and his products and maybe a better lifestyle. That was a perfect way to end this. Not perfect, but that was the best way to end this, with all the twists and turns that she took in this movie. And I enjoyed this movie. I loved it. It was very healthy and very loving and nurturing as a black man to see this as just a moviegoer, as a creative thinker. It was really just a good and new twist on be who you are, and it's okay to knock down old things and build up new things to be that person. Be innovative, be creative, but don't be subjugative to the wrong things. And it was amazing. So I'll give this an 8 out of 10, guys. This movie, for me, is an 8 out of 10. Thank you, Netflix. I will be reviewing more. I will still be here. It's your man Taz, and this has been a Magi production.